Freedom is the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of media?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
It is August the 9th, 2016. My name is S.M. Gibson. You are listening to Anti-Media Radio. There is a lot going on in the news. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our great sound director, Shannon Madden. Shannon, what's up?
You heard any Trump jokes lately?
Oh, man. Man.
Daddy done messed up.
What is going on? Second Amendment. The insinuation behind the comment.
The insinuation, my ass. Come on, man. She's bleeding from her, wherever.
I tell you what, so everybody knows what we're talking about. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip real quick before we run down some of the
awesome.
other headlines that aren't part of the distraction that is the election. But this is pretty hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and play a clip right now of Donald Trump from earlier talking about Hillary Clinton.
The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Y'all don't love us.
Bad, that was the wrong video. Hold on. This is the right one.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But she said the other day, she short-circuited. Hey, could you imagine if I said that I
ain't going to listen to nonsense after that. But, yeah, there's the infamous clip. Did you catch it?
I don't know. I didn't really... I don't see what all the fuss is about.
It's just something to distract people from it. It's pretty hilarious.
I mean, did he really insinuate? Did he truly, genuinely insinuate?
He's an idiot.
Or was that just a supposition?
I think the people buying into like the hype and hysteria of him saying it at this point are almost as stupid as the people supporting it.
Well, here's the dangerous part about this.
Because this is clearly on purpose to incite people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the dangerous part about it is that we understand his base. Well, I mean, personally, I don't claim to, that they're my people. You know what I'm saying? But let's just, his base.
Frustrated with government.
Are undereducated.
That's not true. There's a lot of educated people supporting him. That's true.
Where are these people? Where do they live?
He's got support.
Smart people.
Yes.
Like people that are like educated.
Right. There's a lot of people voting for Trump that aren't admitting they're going to vote for Trump. I'm telling you.
You.
Just because I see through it, I don't believe all these people see through it.
Man.
I'm telling you.
Come on, dude.
Maybe I'm on.
Come back over to us.
No.
You're scaring me with this.
How?
I'm getting you.
There's going to be all kinds of different people vote for Donald Trump.
I am going to buy you.
Just like there'll be all
America
kinds.
Great Again hat, and you're going to wear it with.
Did I say it's going to matter? Oh my gosh!
There's some money riding on this. I can't wait. I cannot
She's
wait.
Going to get beat.
She's not going to get beat because of the.
She's not going to be president.
She's not. Now
You're
what?
correct. That is correct.
I mean, again, that's if the vote was actually counted. If this was a
You're right.
fair,
It's not. She's still not going to be
honest
president.
election,
She's
it was
gonna be-
not.
People don't
Bernie
answer.
supporters represent. Can I hear from my Bernie
It's
people right
different.
now?
They want.
They're crying in the corner.
She really. Nope. Trust me. She's not going to be president. She's not.
I don't know.
Not gonna happen.
I don't know what show you're watching, dude. I mean, the way has been paved.
Let me go ahead and end this real quick. Look, anyway, I'll tell you what.
Can you play the first part of that Trump speech again? That was awesome. Thank you.
I mean, that's what it's become. That's what it's become. Our political elections have become the 1995 Source Awards.
Didn't somebody get shot after that?
Pretty close afterwards.
Yeah.
That a comment was made about a little bit earlier.
This is Hillary's response.
Check this out.
Hey, I'm above this, y'all.
So what other people may feel,
I'm above
I would
this.
like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this east and west that needs to stop.
Yeah, that's Hillary. As she's the one actually doing
This
it.
needs to stop. Everybody chill out. Everybody calm down. Ain't nobody shooting anybody.
I mean, but that's what it's become. That's what a joke it's become.
I'm going to go back to what I was previously saying before you went off on some just like fantasy la land. Trump's base, his support, his main support, the people that are going to go and run out in droves to vote for
It doesn't
Trump
matter.
are undereducated, are typically in a working poor situation. They're
Who's not in that situation?
They're voting for a man who is a representative of corporate America who has put them in the position that they're in right now.
Well, of course.
And we know
What does that have to do with anything? They're
these
both
folks,
bad.
some of these folks get all these crazy ideas, and then they hear something like that. Hear something that somebody who is strictly for the Second Amendment, and Hillary just the mere
Nobody
mention
knows
of her
what he
word.
believes.
That woman
Nobody knows what
your
he
gun
thinks.
away from you. What are you going to do about it? You. I'm looking at you right there. Yes, sir. Yes, Donald Trump is looking at you, and you're fabulous. You're wonderful. Marvelous people. Now go get your gun, and you know what you need to do.
Oh, yeah, that business. That's just called trying to get headlines, man.
Well, but that's pretty dangerous. The game that he's playing politically is very dangerous.
I was talking to somebody earlier today, and the theory came up of what if, hypothetically.
What if?
Because who are we talking about? Hillary Clinton here. These people falling dead all around and have been for
And you don't
30
think she's
years.
not going to be president of the United States? That just blows my mind.
Wait a second. Just go with me here.
All right.
And I'm not saying
All
I
right.
believe this, but I'm saying some interesting theory.
All right.
If because she is Hillary Clinton, and we all know that people tend to get ill or commit suicide, they get real sad if you're friends with the Clinton and got to end it. If there have maybe been threats directed towards Donald Trump from her direction, or what she believes is her direction, and he's going to go ahead and cut it off at the pass. And be like, if you want to play that game, let's play that game. And nobody sees the other side of the conversation. I'm not saying I believe that, but that's pretty...
don't you think
I
that-
could see that being plausible.
Well, don't you think just for a second that maybe possibly suggesting that somebody might go shoot her so they don't take their guns away from them is
I
a
don't
little...
know. I think it's just all a big sideshow, honestly.
Because I heard the comment, and really, I don't think it was as pointed as people are trying to make it out to be. I mean, yeah, I get the implication. Okay, Don. But then again, this is, the same ass clown we've been watching for how many months now?
Well,
Political gaffe after political gaffe after political gaffe, and I just rolls with the punches and comes out smelling like a rose with each one.
I tell you what, real quick, I want to mention something. Speaking of Clintons, speaking of people falling dead around the Clintons, we got
that old chestnut.
Is it Mike Cernovic, and WikiLeaks are both offering $20,000 apiece to get to the bottom of who killed the DNC staffer. And then the police are offering reward. I think it's like $65,000 in total.
You ain't gonna find that online, my friend.
No, well,
there ain't no email that contains the information there. I don't think
I don't think this has anything to do with emails. They're just offering money for anybody that knows anything that can help solve it.
Anybody that knows
they
anything's got $20,000 they can wipe their ass with. So I mean, not
necessarily. Probably though. More than likely.
Friends in high places, my friend.
Yeah, there's probably not a long list of people that know.
When's the last time you've been to Walmart? I shop there. I admit it.
I've been.
I'm poor. I mean, what else? What other options do I have?
I haven't been to Walmart in a long time. I worked there for a brief amount of time.
You worked at Walmart?
Many years ago.
I knew about the thrift store, but I didn't know about Walmart.
Many years ago, it was the worst of the worst of the worst. They treated their employees like garbage.
No.
They do. It's true. That's a fact. That's not just
a friend of Hillary Clinton would treat their employees.
That is not just the lingo online.
Wow,
that is a fact.
Wow.
But anyway, we could sit here and talk about the idiot
Jade Helm. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my tinfoil hat Tourette's going tonight. Forgive me. 9/11. Yeah.
We've got a story up right now on the front page of the insidemedia.org. 5 things the media isn't telling you about the Olympics. Have you kept up with the Olympics at all? I haven't. Not a bit.
I don't watch broadcast TV, man.
I haven't at all. I see a few things come online. To be honest, I've seen the media. The only thing I've really seen reported is about how they're all doing the cupping stuff on their back. That's like all I know. And some people won some gold medals. I don't care. Maybe I should. There's nothing wrong with caring.
Synchronized swimming is always fun to watch.
But real quick, I want to run down this list. I won't get into it too detailed. But in Brazil, political protesters are granted very little freedom of speech, and that's why they are threatening to extinguish the Olympic torch, which I saw a video of them trying to do that. So, yeah, they've been trying to put the torch out. But, yeah.
No smoking. Yeah.
Especially in where the stadiums and stuff are. They're not allowed to do anything. But Rio is broke, and so is Brazil. That's number 2. 3, the military police are responsible for Olympic security, but the targets are civilians and, in some cases, athletes. They have actually 4 branches of police. They've got military police, civil police, federal police, and municipal guard. Yada, yada, yada. Military police are doing security.
Yeah.
And they're not very nice people.
I don't think they're paid to be nice.
They're claiming that they're all doing this all environmentally free. They're not. And the last thing is Brazil's plan to clean the streets of Rio ahead of the Olympics was responsible for the unlawful arrest of thousands of children. Yeah, they were just rounding people up. It was really bad, and probably not worth all the sporting events. But, it's terrible. I know that. And yet, the world keeps spinning, and they're writing stories about people doing cupping on their back before they win a medal. So, have you seen the picture of I know you've probably seen one of them, of the art. It's been going around for a while. I think it goes back to when they had the World Cup in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, of the stadium and the fireworks and the little Brazilian kid sitting there poor. There's like an actual picture of that now with like this group of kids at this wall that are like poor, like way back in the slums. And in the distance, it's this beautiful lit up stadium with fireworks. And it's just like, that's life imitating art, and not in a good way.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. And we're trying to get the Olympics here in Birmingham.
Are we still trying to do that?
I don't see why not. Larry Langford.
Now, you know they're trying to get the DNC back for 2020. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds like
that's never going to happen, probably. You never know. They may look into it one of these years. But,
Hillary would be running for re-election. Wow.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up real quick. Did you see when Idiot Trump made his statement, right? Mm-hmm. The guy in the background, it's like, as soon as Trump says it,
I haven't seen it yet.
He has this look on his face. I mean, it's like right over his I guess if you're watching, it's right over Trump's right-hand shoulder, just that face right there. Hillary was in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Florida, which is right outside of Orlando.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly where Kissimmee. I got family there.
And in the exact same spot is where that guy was behind Trump, sat the father of the Orlando shooter. Not only was he at a Hillary Clinton rally, but sat directly behind her in view of the camera. You can't see hardly anybody at this rally, but you can see that man right there, his face next to hers.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Oh, that's just that's a coincidence, man. Come on.
Well, they tracked him down and talked to the guy, and he's like, I'm a Hillary Clinton supporter. I love America. I'm for what she says about gun control. Love Hillary Clinton. You know, he was pretty simple. He didn't really get into this.
Yeah, they didn't give him a massive paragraph to.
Oh no, they let him
to memorize. They gave him just a few lines to read off.
Well, what happened at first is his reaction seemed kind of whatever. They saw him in the parking lot. It's raining down. The local news of all people spotted this guy,
and they got shot.
And they go, "What's he doing here?" And so they track him down in the parking lot. And he doesn't really say anything.
Wow.
And he's like,
of course he didn't. He was trying to figure out, am I being set up here?
The local newscast goes, and then, ironically, we ran into him later down the road on the way back to West Palm Beach. Ironically, ran into him at a rest stop.
Wow.
So they tracked the guy down at a rest stop and cornered him. And get him to talk and shows up.
Followed his ass is what that was.
Yeah, but whatever, they talk to him.
These guys are going to get shot, man.
But
who they're playing with?
I don't know. But he seemed pretty aloof to the whole thing. He says he got an invitation, and then he kept saying Democratic Party, Democratic Party, Democratic Party over and over and over. But here's the only thing for me is, okay, Hillary Clinton's people finally said, we don't know who was there. We don't know who you're talking about. What's going on? That's odd. But you tell me, and maybe I'm wrong, hey, maybe I'm wrong, but you know for a fact that the people behind her are hand-selected. To a degree, I don't think they're got a list of names.
Especially when you have,
in some cases,
that kind of stage, that kind of platform.
They pick people to be on camera to make the audience look more diverse.
Every single person that is behind her in view of a camera, on any camera angle, is hand-selected.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing for Trump, but Trump usually prefers to stand on the stage by himself.
I may be very, very wrong, but I find it hard to believe that the Secret Service for Hillary Clinton is not at least aware to a degree of who the people are in direct proximity to Hillary Clinton at all times.
And if they're not, then what do we have the Secret Service for, correct?
And we're not talking about he was just there in the crowd. That's very explainable.
Mm-hmm.
But to be up there and he's in the camera, she's in the camera, that's odd. What does it mean? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that a message to folks like you or me that would pay attention to something like that and say, damn, I wouldn't mess with her? Well, she keeps some very unusual company. I mean, that is what it is.
It is, yeah. It just kind of is what it is.
Hey, quick, name Charles Manson's dad. Exactly. I mean,
But I know this guy is Sadiq Mateen.
He wasn't friends with Hillary.
No.
Yeah.
Do you realize, I had this thought the other day and meant to do something about it, make something for it, but if you think about it, Hillary Clinton is responsible for way more people being killed indirectly than Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
Was it even before she got to the White House? I think so.
Maybe.
So
they say.
I have to pull it up. You gotta
they say.
You gotta dig around to find stuff on Hillary these days. You gotta go way down, like
I'm weird. I can tell you more
50 pages into Google before you start getting the dirty stuff.
I can tell you more about some of the people Johnson was killing than I can the Clintons. I'm that weird guy. I should probably know more of those stories. They're pretty interesting. You can certainly go down a rabbit hole with it.
We need to go to Saturn and do trivia night with you one night. I could make some money off of you.
Wow. I'd have to be out in public. That sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's not that much fun. I've done that before. Been there, done that, got a T-shirt.
Did you hear about what they found? ISIS over the weekend released photos of captured U.S. weapons. It looks like this old camp, and they've got this soldier's ID and everything, taking pictures of it. And the Army says this guy wasn't captured, that he's there with his unit. He's fine. So, but they got his ID and there's all this equipment. It's clearly all U.S. equipment, and they're showing it off like they got it. So that's happening pretty much everywhere. Everything they do, though, it's turned into. There's no real explanation for why all that stuff's just.
And really, there's no. I mean, both sides are going to lie about it. Both sides have done what they can as far as media manipulation goes. I mean, really, there's who knows what to believe at this point, as far as motive, as far as who did what, as far as if it was dropped off and hand delivered to them. And somebody accidentally left their ID when they bent over to pick up some grenades to give to them.
The pictures, it looks like they were just sitting around camping and just got up and left. Yeah. And it's like all just sitting there waiting for them. Yeah. So, but they're not offering much of a excuse on our side.
You see any Scud missiles in that stockpile? Remember the Scud? One of the most inefficient missiles on the face of God's green earth.
Speaking of weapons, have you heard that the U.S. is escalating how much they're giving and helping Saudi Arabia in Yemen, directly in Yemen? They're helping them refuel more and they get more weapons. And also there's they're doing 1.1 billion or something weapons package. No big deal. I mean, also, by the way, what was it? A month ago?
Nothing to see here, folks.
A month ago, the 28 pages came out?
Nothing to see here.
And we're giving them 1.1 billion.
Yeah, you're over there talking all that conspiracy talk again. There's nothing to see here, man. They're friends. We're friends with Saudi Arabia. Don't you know that? They have never done anything to us. Never done anything to us.
They've given the Clintons a bunch of money. They gave the Bushes
friends helping
the Bushes a bunch of money.
Friends helping friends. That's all that is.
I think I remember hearing, if I remember correctly, they've given Barack Obama a bunch of money.
How many people did they publicly behead last year?
Oh, it was
a stupid number.
Yeah, it was between 1 and 200. That's pretty wide, but we were talking beheadings.
Cut somebody's head off in the middle of the street for everybody else to see. Right. This is what happens when you don't do exactly what we tell you to do.
Yeah, and what's sad about that is, how many times have you heard the argument, well, it's better than the ways they kill a lot of people. It's quicker. It's like, well, here's an idea.
Let's not kill people.
Right. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Put the right people in prison as opposed to... It's not like you can just have everybody walking the streets. Sadly. But people be crazy. Two of them are running for president right now. So you think Hillary's sick? You think she's dying?
I don't...
Got Parkinson's as the rumor goes. I think Bill has Parkinson's for sure.
Bill's got something, that's for sure.
But her... seems she's got... pretty convincing. The Daily Beast had a rebuttal to it, and there was no rebuttal at all. So you don't think that she's mentally ill, dying, physically ill?
I mean, does it matter?
Maybe.
Whoever else.
I think it does matter if she...
she's an old lady. I mean, old ladies, they kick the bucket at some point in time.
Yeah, she is old. in order.
Unlike Donald Trump, I don't want to speed up the process. Hillary can live out her years, and however long she's supposed to live it out, I guess. I'm not going to say anything about it.
Well, we're all going to be dead if she gets her way and then go to war with Russia.
Well, I mean, we won't all be dead.
Not everybody.
A hand-selected few.
So,
Anyway, you've never seen Dr. Strangelove, so you don't. I've already said too much, but there is a bit in that movie down toward the end that you'll particularly enjoy that pertains to what I'm talking about right now.
did you see where, speaking of Russia, Putin and Erdogan, Russia and Turkey,
Friends helping friends.
yeah, reaching across the aisle. It's been pretty rough lately, guys, but
Yeah, they've had a very sour relationship.
Very much.
lately. Very sour. And it's good to see them patch things up.
yeah, ain't it sweet?
Yeah.
What
We got a band
sweet
together,
thought.
man. America's swooping on in here. What are we going to do about it?
How long ago was it that we were saying that there were more troops going to Iraq?
Oh, gracious. That hadn't been very long ago.
Yeah, they're saying 400 more.
Yeah. Because, terror.
I'm trying to run down the headlines.
Can't
here.
have terror without freedom. So it's a yin and yang thing.
For most of the stuff that I'm talking about, you can find out more in depth by going directly to theantimedia.org.
Do it now. www.theantimedia.org.
Iran's claiming that the United States created ISIS.
No.
Again, yeah. Iran
They'll
says some
say
crazy
anything
stuff,
if they
so
keep from going to war.
They both. That's the only thing. Like, Iran is as bad or worse as we are with propaganda. So, I mean, when it's Iran and the U.S. spitting back and forth, it's just like, you can't listen to either one. I know that people have this thought, the United States, like, the United States does lie. That doesn't mean other countries don't lie either. You have to be realistic. And there's a lot of nonsense coming from both sides in that. So,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of finger pointing.
Yeah. And both sides are all part of the same side. That ain't
I don't know that one. I don't think so, that one. And I think there's genuine dislike between them. And I think a lot of it has to do with Saudi Arabia, of course.
Yeah, but didn't we just work something out with Iran? And
Obama did, but the rest of the government didn't. A lot of people still got some feelings.
Feels.
Uh-huh.
Feels.
And they're not done with that.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton being one of them. That's one thing that Obama and Hillary Clinton are very drastically different, is Obama's not running into Iran.
What was the word that Putin used? I believe it was, what was it? Nuclear hegemony or something like that? I got to look that up again.
Oh,
But I mean, again,
hegemony.
thank you. I don't know why my brain is
Oh,
definitely
I
not
do it every day,
firing
so-
on all cylinders tonight. It's been a long day today.
Oh, it's all right. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of scare tactics and propaganda on both sides. And, look, Putin's going to do that too, but Putin is at least saying, hey, what's going on? This is leading us to war, and we don't want that. That's not in everybody's best interest here. Can we take a step back and let us just all kind of do our thing?
Yeah. Because if you combine the military might of Russia and China, combined with their weaponry and nuclear weaponry, yeah, that's
Well, once one goes off, they'll start getting thrown around everywhere. North Korea, Japan is kind of looking at them like, okay, if they do something, they're getting ready to do something. I think they had some missiles activated for the first time in a few years.
now. I think that's still a little bit more of much ado about nothing.
Usually with North Korea it is, but
Usually,
they're over there.
All it's gonna take
there's
is-
no telling
all
what
it's
that
going to
guy's
take
saying
is
right now.
one mistake, these little, firing pop guns off in the air. It's going to take one mistake for the whole thing to start coming down. And that's what I really don't like about, our little buddy over in North Korea.
Did you say that's the thing you don't like about him?
Yeah, I don't.
Is there anything to like about him?
Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know. Is he into karaoke?
I don't know. He likes Dennis Rodman.
Asian folks love some karaoke, man. You
Yeah.
ever wandered into one of those
I'm not
Chinese
very familiar
restaurants?
with it myself.
You wander into one of those Chinese restaurants late at night, and they'll set up one of the back rooms or the banquet room for a karaoke jam. Man, them folks are into it, dude. The sake's flowing.
Yeah. So,
Starry night.
yeah. I want to go ahead and bring up, too, while we were talking about Putin, to remind everybody to watch that video. If you haven't seen the video of him talking to the journalist, then you should. I would play excerpts of it, but nobody speaks Russian, and you have to read the subtitles, so it really wouldn't do a lot.
You can link it. Put a link somewhere. You're a link kind of guy.
I'll do that. I'm going to drop right now.
Technology, man. I'm loving this technology. All the Twitters and the Facebooks, Spacewall. Yeah, that's some good stuff. You can talk to somebody all the way across the world with that stuff.
That's what they say.
Milo can. Well, he can still do it on Facebook, but poor Milo.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I heard he got in a fight.
I'm surprised he had.
Well,
I'm surprised he's not a physical altercation
with
every day of his
with
life.
Twitter people.
Of course. Well, how do you communicate with him? On a cell phone?
In person, it was at the. It was.
So he showed up at Twitter headquarters.
No, they were at the same. It was at the DNC, and they had their media little spaces, and they were kind of a media row.
Oh wow! So they were out in the open.
Yeah, they were out in the open. Both in media
That was a
row.
dumb move on their part.
Yeah,
They won't do that again.
Yeah, they couldn't get out of it, but they were telling him to leave, supposedly.
Of course they were. They didn't want to hear what he had to say, even though it might or might not be correct. He's a funny dude, though. I like him.
It's amusing. It's certainly funny.
It is.
I think
It's way more amusing than Trump himself. So I'll just leave it at
it
that.
would be way funny. Trump would be way funnier if he wasn't inciting all this craziness in people, which he is, and he wasn't running for president.
Yeah, if Trump was a gay British dude, I think it would his campaign would be a lot more fun. He would be way less successful, but it would be a lot more fun to watch. Just throwing it out there.
Well, I mean, I think it's already for insanity. It's going to get crazier, though. It's going to get a lot crazier.
I still think it ends with Hillary.
Nope.
That man, they got that shit rigged from the bottom up.
It is rigged.
Believe it.
I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, if this was a fair fight, yeah, okay, I'd say Trump has a chance. But
I don't
this
think
is not a fair fight.
It's not.
My Bernie people, y'all holler now. Come
It's
on
not
now.
rigged
My roads.
for her to be president. It's not rigged for her to become president of the United States. It is rigged, but it's rigged.
There's no way in hell it's
She's not-
rigged for Trump. And we can both agree that it is rigged. So if it's rigged, which way is it rigged then? You tell me.
I don't know. Look,
Your trusted public servant, Hillary Clinton.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm telling you, she's not going to be
Well,
president.
that ass clown
She's
over
not
there,
gonna
the
be
orange guy.
president.
The orange guy with the hair.
Have you seen the what people are throwing around now if Trump wins for Obama to go like martial law or something and just stay in and keep him from becoming president?
I mean,
Do you know what people would do?
at this point,
That would be just
it doesn't
chaos.
matter who becomes president.
That would
Martial
matter.
law is going to get declared no matter what. Y'all make sure.
Well, if you know, we're already in that police state to a degree.
yeah.
But you can still kind of walk around.
We're in a
It's
path-
not like it was in Boston after the bombings where like the streets just emptied out.
Not yet. You're absolutely right. Not yet.
That happened in Dallas too when the
Yeah, it could happen anywhere, my
officers
friend.
got
They've
shot.
got it set up that way. What do you think Jade Helm was about? Oh, it was an exercise. Nothing to see here, folks. But what do you think it was about?
No, you got to do something with all that equipment. I mean, what are people shocked about? What are people shocked about? What is
when people take to the streets and we have to suddenly maintain order and control? That's what Joe Biden was all
they're
about,
not buying all
They're
that.
ready.
Well, they're ready, but they're not trained that well. They're just not. Unless it comes in and the feds come in, which, look, there's equipment all over the place for that, and exercises and everything.
Can we both agree for the moment that Kevin is probably the smartest person on the show?
Oh, well, I never know.
He can't figure out how to get a Skype account. My dumb ass got a Skype account.
Yeah, I figured it out.
I hope Kevin's listening right now. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. I'm sure I stumbled through it, but
spoiler alert, because we don't have much show left. But yeah, Kevin was supposed to join us tonight via Skype, and that just ain't happening. So you're stuck with our dumb asses.
So we've got this supports your theory, but the former CIA guy, Michael Morrell, he endorsed Hillary. And he, supports all this crazy foreign policy stuff, as you would being with CIA.
Seems like Hillary supports a little crazy foreign policy
She
herself.
does. She does. His is pretty...
Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Let me read you something real quick. This is his words here. I served presidents of both parties. I was at President W. Bush's side when we were attacked on September 11th as deputy director of the agency. I was with President Obama when we killed Osama bin Laden in 2011. I'm either a registered Democrat or a registered Republican. In my 40 years of voting, I've pulled the lever for candidates of both parties. As a government official, I've always been silent about my preference for president. But now...
the choice is clear.
The choice is clear. Hillary. Tell you she's telling him president.
Leave all that Crystal Pepsi alone and come back to the real thing, baby.
I know. It's not going to be what people think. I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot tell you.
It's the same thing that's happened this whole election cycle. It's going to be rigged all the way to the very end.
I concur.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's too much.
The new president of the United States.
Foolish.
The very first woman ever.
That's foolish. It's not going to happen.
I got some money riding on it.
It's not going to happen. I mean, I said that there was definitely going to be a Republican president, and she's pretty close to being policy-wise.
You have
Bush era Republican.
Old line GOP members. The hardcore faithful have now thrown their hat in the ring with Hillary.
Here's one thing
they stand with her.
I understand that Kagan and Bill Kristol.
There's a list floating around right now of all of the party defectors, as it were.
If you hear one of the Bushes supported Trump, but George P. Bush.
George, there's more than two.
Oh, there's a billion of them.
Really?
Yeah, there's a million of them.
There's a factory.
They're everywhere.
There's a factory out in Texas.
There's a factory cranking out Bushes. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. It may take a generation or two.
Located in George Herbert Walker Bush's
Listen,
balls.
it may take a generation or two, but the Bushes we have not heard the last.
Can you imagine how annoying that is to scream for "Hey George" and four people scream out at different parts of the house?
Now they don't even have success because I think
there's only one Jeb.
But I think they're going to pop their head up. You never know. Maybe you're back in there.
Them Bushes ain't going
They've
down
been there for a long time, so I don't know how they leave now.
Mm-hmm. Corporate America's finest.
Yeah. And look, okay, here's a crazy thought I had today. The anniversary of Michael Brown, Darren Wilson. I don't even want to get into that part of it too much. We've talked at great length about that, as have a lot of people. Clearly, the answer wasn't for somebody to die in the situation. Whatever. Not whatever, but you know what I mean. Okay, so think about that we have people in this country that, whether it's that situation, whether it's Tamir Rice, whether it's Eric Garner, whatever, they defend the person who killed somebody. They defend the cop in like crazy situations that you just like, how would you excuse that? But they do it anyway. And I guarantee you there's people out there that probably defend the cop from Walter Scott. I don't even know how you can do that, but I bet you there's somebody. Mm-hmm. Then think about how predominantly, stereotypically, those same people, a lot of them look very highly, like they love Ronald Reagan, right? Mm-hmm. Ronald Reagan, the person who shot the president is walking free. Mm-hmm. Walking free. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me think, like, can you think of anything a higher crime in the United States of America than that? Is there a higher crime?
Well, I think if you murder anybody, that
I agree,
but just ass in jail for a good long while.
Understand, but just in realistic, everyday speaking terms, that's about as bad as you're going to think of. Oh, somebody did that. That man's walking free.
Isn't shooting the president a hate crime?
It's something. I don't know, but the guy that shot the president, John Hinckley, is walking free. Mm-hmm. And I've done the research lately about, who his dad was and relationships with the Bushes. Neil Bush, the Hinckleys, of course. There was an energy company involved and money going to George Bush running for president in 1980 from Hinckley himself. But whatever. And if Reagan would have died from that bullet wound, who would have become president? It would have been George Bush, but, maybe coincidence. Or maybe the guy that shot the president's walking free and nobody even pays attention to it. Like, that's what level we're at. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're at the level where that's happening right in front of us in broad daylight. And nobody says a word about it. Nobody cares. And they love Ronald Reagan. Love him. And nobody says anything, but they defend people who shoot 12-year-old kids. Like what? Like, that's how brainwashed.
No charges filed.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on. I got to do it. Kevin, he came through. Kevin, what's up?
What's up, bud? Doing all right, man?
Doing good, sir.
Good to be back with you fine fellas. And ladies.
Sorry, but
Carrie on the line?
No, Carrie. No.
Oh, no Carrie tonight.
That's the only reason you called in. Just talk to Carrie.
No, but I definitely didn't want to leave her out when I said, and I didn't want to include her in the fellas in case she's don't want to be considered a fella when I greeted you, fine gentlemen.
So,
anyways, it sounds like I came into something rather important.
Well, we've been all over the place. But what's your overall take of the day? Because a lot happened today, and I really don't know where to begin with it.
I couldn't tell you, man. I'm the last person to ask. Everywhere you turn, there's something different. Well, either it's important or it's not. These days.
Do you have any reaction to the Trump comment, Second Amendment comment?
Yeah, I think, that's Trump being Trump. I think he knows what he was doing. I think he was probably playing to that small, I say that small, that ever-growing, but that segment of the population that are probably keyboard warriors. And no offense, I know there's plenty of guys out there that are, just waiting, that claim they have an itchy finger and they're waiting for the bullets to start flying so they can take back their country. But, we know that that's not very likely to happen at all whatsoever. So I think he's probably speaking to those, to that group of people out there. That's what it sounded like to me.
He's speaking to everybody when he says something like that. He's just looking for different reactions. I think he's looking more for a negative reaction in these situations. I really do. He knows better than to say that. I mean, how many campaign resets have we had here?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think he really cares either. I mean, it goes to show Donald Trump will just about do whatever he wants and say what he wants with very little. I mean, what is he going to, at this point, you know, after the comment about shooting somebody in the head on Fifth Avenue, after that comment, you know, what does it take for Donald Trump to say that anybody would really care where it would shift the tides, any kind of one way or the other, any kind of dramatic shift? I don't think we'd see it.
And then meanwhile, you've got Hillary Clinton having the shooter, the father of the shooter of Orlando, right behind her as she's speaking. Like, the placement's pretty coincidental.
Right. You know, I had the TV on a little while ago, and one of the news channels, maybe CNN, was questioning, do you guys think she actually knew that this person was behind her? I mean, obviously, it wasn't just a coincidence that the guy was there, but I mean, do you think, you know, whether it was some staff member who decided, hey, we'll get this guy in here, you know, and is he the one to blame for it, or do you think Hillary Clinton actually knew it? I mean, you would think, being a rational person, she would think that there was no plus side to that.
You would think.
Right, but we're so far removed from what these people live every day. It's hard to argue, you know, that we shouldn't immediately spring for the opposite of what we do, and assume that they'd go with that.
Well, I think, though, her hiring Washington showed that she has zero disregard for any positive political move.
Fingers up.
Like, she stopped playing politics. Like, she's just doing what she wants. And that, you know, but I think there's also the chance of one of Hillary's staffers says, all right, well, the guy meant the crowd look diverse. There was a Muslim guy sticking back there. That's a good possibility. He was put back there, I guarantee it, but did they know who he was? That's the question.
I mean, you would, like you said, you know, like it was said, you hope not. I mean, what added benefit? I didn't see exactly. Did this person have any additional roles in this whole proceedings, this whole dog and pony show?
A few times, but I mean, you know, he didn't carry out the shooting. It was his son. And it was just kind of left at that. And he was talking today that, you know, he's a member of the Democratic Party.
It's just an odd person to have on stage with Hillary Clinton.
It is.
The camera pointed in that direction.
It is very odd. And
very odd.
It was in, you know, Kissimmee, which is right outside of Orlando.
Yeah.
So, they questioned about why he was there, and he said he was invited. And you didn't really get the answer when they asked.
Well, I mean, if you're sitting...
Was it a mass email?
You're definitely invited. You know? Put him over here. We'll put him in this seat.
He didn't explain if it was like a mass email invite or if it was...
Well, no mass email invite.
Or if it was a personal invitation.
He was personally asked to sit where he somebody put him in that. Of course they did.
In fairness, you don't. It's likely, but you can't say that for sure.
As closely orchestrated as all the DNC events have been up to this point.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree with
somebody made a decision to put him in that chair.
I agree
for whatever
with that.
reason.
I agree with that.
Maybe because he wasn't a white dude, and they happened to have a slot that they needed a brown person.
But you got to remember too.
There's been a lot of that with the DNC.
You need to remember too that not every move these people make is as calculated as it appears, only because people make mistakes and screw up all the time, and there's some of these people probably pretty stupid. Not all of them.
No.
But
there have been a few things that have come from Hillary's camp during this campaign.
I mean,
that suggests that she possibly has a troll working
right. So
in her camp.
Bill's trolling her for sure, and the media's not reporting it.
Bill.
Him checking that watch still blows my mind that he did that, because that was on a tip of the hat to when Bush did it to him.
Thug life.
I believe it. I believe it.
That was his thug life moment.
Either that or he didn't know where he was at anymore. He was just like, can I go now?
Yeah.
Which is a possibility.
I got a thing I was supposed to do tonight.
Yeah, he probably did.
Some Thai strippers.
Mm-hmm. So, you know. Have you kept up with any of the Olympics at all? Does it matter, Kevin?
No.
It ain't my thing.
No.
Yeah, I think what's more important is unfortunately, it's not being shown the protest outside of
That's it.
of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff. And, that country's like many other Latin American countries, and not just Latin American countries. There's drowning in debt, and their government sponsored, and with, of course, infusion from a lot of private company, a lot of taxpayer money. Is going, to fund these big games, which I know there's a lot of pomp and circumstance and history and all that jazz. But when you've got people starving outside, and corrupt dictators and strongmen are looting the country and the treasury, it's hard to imagine that people wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It really is, man.
And yet, as the whole world watches it, there's not really been much attention brought to it.
No, and I'll be honest with you, I've not been able to watch much of the games. I just saw that somebody had mentioned the protests just casually in passing on CNN. Are the protests at all, from your understanding, being shown at all? Anything whatsoever?
Oh, no, I haven't seen anything about it and coming across any news other than alternative. I haven't seen much coming out of the mainstream from it.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably something they really don't want, obviously, the media to pick up on.
Well,
This is an interesting video of some guys recording some pickpockets. Some guys out over in a hotel room just recording some of the local people going through there. And man, if you were a tourist, you better hold on to your purse because your stuff was getting snatched. Man, what a interesting place to have the Olympics of all things.
yeah, I heard that was going on.
Given the circumstances with the water, man, you guys see the water? The athletes are being told not to put their head below the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
It seems like it's bad on everybody there. It's everybody. The athletes aren't getting it any better. And you think they'd be living like kings and stuff, but that's how bad it is in Brazil. And they just, it makes no sense of why they held it there at all. Because what little they had, they didn't need to be spending on that. It's not like they were just rolling in it before.
Right. What's crazy is they've known this is coming for so long. They knew it was coming. They knew it. I had a little bit of interest in it. I forget what brought me to it, but I had read several stories, several months ago, even a year or two ago, about the water quality, specifically, and the violence that was breaking out there. And questioning, hey, is it smart to even have the Olympics here? So, this is obviously not an issue that just popped its head up. It's been growing worse and worse and worse.
Oh, yeah, they've been talking about it for forever.
Right.
We've only got, about 8 minutes here left in the show. Real quick, Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on, I don't know how much you got to look into it, but Putin and Erdogan meeting today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's completely news to me.
Yeah, it looks like they're, you'll have to go look into it, but it looks like they're trying to man the fences between the two countries. It's, they're playing it not too long ago.
What do you think that'll do to, I guess, Turkey's relationship with ISIS when it comes to buying all the oil?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and they're being a NATO ally, and cozying up to Putin, that, I don't know, that screams some foreign policy issues just itching to be.
And he's going complete Hitler mode inside of his country.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, God, yeah. And I wonder how many people are aware of that. That is, I think I know the Western media has obviously, for the most part, been asleep on it. Alternative media has really been the ones really pushing and exposing any of what seems to be going on over there.
At all. And the really bad part is when you say, oh, yeah, everybody hears the term Hitler thrown around, that's actually what's happening. It's just, he's shutting that place down. But I think it's really interesting that he's trying to get with Putin on some stuff. I guess he figures it's in their best interest. We'll see what happens and what the outcome of that is.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Real quick, Shannon, before we go, I want you to talk a little bit, just a few seconds, about an interview we're going to have up pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully we can do it Thursday night. We also will hope to have an accompanying story. Our good friend Mercutio Southall, the original, I guess the OG Trump rally, the first person of a long line of people of color that were escorted none too gently from Trump rallies all across the nation.
They tossed like 14 out the other day and won.
Yeah. He has recently made local headlines with a story that I really think that a lot of people across the country need to hear, particularly when we talk about the constant intrusion that the government has on our daily lives. This one's about picking up trash, and fascinating story. We've got an interview story and hopefully some links to some video as it happened. You're not going to believe this. It's a crazy story, but
infuriating story, not just interesting, infuriating.
Absolutely. So.
So hopefully that'll be up on Thursday. That'll be on Thursday night show. Hopefully, 2 hours.
I need to get my ass to work. Is what that means. Still got some editing to do. So
hurry up.
Just editing. I believe that's called.
Yeah, because you're not actually like cutting it up and making it say other things. It's just post editing to play on the show.
We're just going to play like a 30-second clip of it. Yeah, and then talk about it for 2 hours. Yeah,
let's do that.
No, that's not going to happen. This ain't no Fox News up in here.
Speaking of which.
Y'all rob us! Y'all rob us! And let it be known here! Let it
be known here! That's the first thing that came to mind today.
I don't understand what that was.
That was Coast versus West Coast.
That was
what that was.
At the 1995 Source Awards.
That Outcast swooped in and took it all over. The South shall rise again.
Oh, Outcast. Yeah, Outcast.
And Yellow Wolf.
No, I'm not a fan of that.
They're coming to Beeham, aren't they? Here any day now.
Yes.
Outcast is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We're just 3 minutes here now. Just
going to diss on Yellow Wolf like that. I'm so disappointed in you right now. Anniston, Alabama, represent, man.
Is it Anderson?
Yeah.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes from somewhere.
You're an asshole sometimes. You know that?
Sometimes.
Whatever.
Congratulations, everybody, on all your success.
Yeah.
From wherever you're from, especially people from Alabama.
Thank you for making it to the end of this broadcast. We'll reward you with what's the prize?
They know I'm telling everybody now they've got the in on it that Hillary Clinton's not going to be president.
She is definitely going to be president.
Not going to happen.
Bernie supporters, come on, where you at? Call in.
Happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, y'all
where are you at on it right now, Kevin?
Sir?
Where are you at on that? Will Hillary win the election or not? Are you
Trump's going to get it.
All right, we got a Trump. We got one for Trump.
I didn't ask you.
If half of the people that think that they're going to vote for Trump remember that they were supposed to have already registered and actually registered to vote, I think Trump will win. That's going to be the kicker. How many people do? Because you know that so many people out there don't even know where their polling place is, will not know, don't even realize they should have even been registered to vote.
Y'all really think that this they're going to count the votes and they're going to go ahead and pick the actual winner?
When have I ever said that it's not?
You're a crazy person.
She's still not going to be the president.
You are crazy.
People don't like her, I'm telling you.
I hate her. I do not want to see her as president.
I'm not talking about
Yes, you do want to see her.
Go and let it blow through the stereo. I'ma let 'em know, through
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go, glow through the stereo.